So Maria Butina was labeled a spy by the US government, and there's a really good article called The Spy Who Wasn't. I'll have it linked here in our show to show that she wasn't a spy at all. And in fact, Maria Butina has gone on to be a Senate in the State Duma here in Russia. But she was a young college woman, and she got involved with some Republicans during that, and she was encouraged by her college to go to all these political functions because that was her study of interest. And she did that. And then it seems she was set up basically and was put in prison for several months, for almost a couple of years. And much of that time spent in solitary. It was quite brutal. So you've seen Maria on our show talk about all of that. She's gone on to make a wonderful life for herself in Russia. But instead of just having bitterness in her heart, Maria is such a good person. She's helped people like me. She's helped other Americans and Westerners move to Russia to escape persecution and possible prison and other things. So in my, estimation, she's quite a woman, and she's a hero of mine. She's a beautiful spirit. I've had her on the show a couple times, like I said, but each time is different and nuanced in a different way. So sit back and enjoy a wonderful conversation with Maria Butina and myself, Tara Reid. It's the Tara Reid Show. Thank you for subscribing and joining.
Тут главное — это напускная секретность всего происходящего, чтобы широкая публика не увидела абсурдности обвинений против Марии.
Русская напугана, но держится достойно.
Есть кое-что поинтереснее, чем превращать Россию в большую пепельницу.
Вы будете обвиняемы по 2 статьям с возможным наказанием 15 лет лишения свободы.
Я всегда была откровенна.
Я надеюсь, вы понимаете, что мы знаем о вас практически все.
Hi, Maria.
Hi.
My dear friend, I had said as I introduced you, did so much for me. And my heart is full of gratitude to you always when I needed to come to Russia. And my life here is so wonderful. And thank you, first of all.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Your happiness and your bright eyes, that's what I need for my happiness, because we're happy. This is the secret. Don't tell to anyone. This is the secret and the key to the deep Russian soul. We just like people happy. That's it.
Well, and I pointed out to my audience that you had a really rough time, and you had been on my show a couple of times talking about your experience in prison in America, and you went through so much, and we're very candid with that. But one of the things I love about you is that instead of bitterness in your heart, you have compassion and love for others, and you've reached back to people in the United States and in other Western countries and said, here, I will help you. Because you're living your life, you don't maybe notice, but I'm telling you, not many people have that much courage and that much compassion for others. And it really speaks to your spiritual being. And I just want to compliment you on that. And I want more people to know your story. You wrote the book, The Prison Diary, and I understand there's a film coming out. So I was wondering if you could share with our audience about your film and what that was like watching the process.
I actually don't even know if your audience needs to be shared with that, because the whole America, the US, on New York Square, on the Times Square, New York, they have been watching the trailer of the movie for the whole day on my actual 5 years anniversary of freedom that happened on October 25th. This is the day when I got my freedom back. I still don't know who did it, meaning that's, some guys, and but it's pleasant when you have this thing to be shown to the world, and a little bite of truth if people can get. And actually, you mentioned the book, The Prison Diary, that is the base for the film, for the TV series. Actually, eight episodes movie. So if somebody wants to download it, I will share with you a link where you can watch the trailer. You probably will show in your show in a piece of this trailer. It's actually amazing, and I love the character, the actress who plays me. We don't look alike that much now because I cut my hair, I had long red hair, and now it's, all different, and I feel better this way. But she's like me in the past, so you can see, and I hope it's going to be translated to English, but I guess there will be very few brave people who are going to distribute it. But anyway, we will try, and I believe in brave Americans and people who are loyal, not to Russia, but to the truth. This is what I actually view as the strongest point of American character. You guys could be like stone. You can be. I mean, when you have the spirit, and I saw especially the rural America, the Midwest, these are the people who have principles. And you mentioned that why I don't have this bitterness in my heart, because I'm a Christian. I'm a devoted Christian. I'm an Orthodox, and I do help to those today, those Christians who are looking for a safe haven for their kids. I cannot bear bitterness or hateness in my heart because God told us not to do so. I have to forgive. It doesn't mean that you have to forget and just, do nothing with the evil going on around and what they do with all this transgender crazy stuff and trying to convert kids into all this, ugliness of their liberal dictatorship. I will not stand and, just stay quiet. No, I'm going to raise my voice against it. And people who are like me, who are Christians, and I see on my X now that a lot of people actually, let's say that was, I just had a post around Halloween saying this is a hijacked holiday, okay? It used to be a Catholic All Saints Day, and they hijacked it so badly that now they celebrate Satans. They dress their kids in all these demons, and I see some people say it's a joke. It's no joke, guys. It's no joke when you corrupt the souls of your kids. So that's why I decided to show the truth and tell the truth in my book and in my movie, and to start leading this Move to Russia program for people who are looking for the Noah's Ark, for the Salvation Ark. And many, like you, Tara, they find the freedom here, and they will try to silence us like they do with RT and others, but the word gets around, and through X, through other platforms, Telegram, and there are a lot of people who come to Russia, and for over the past months, I got more than 180 applications from the Westerners who are interested in Russia.
In 1 month?
And listen, and this is just my stuff. This is only the applications came to me. If you check the general statistics of all the NGOs that are interested to help now, there are plenty of them. One of them is like Moving in Russia. It's called movingin.russia.com, I think, or .ru. I don't remember exactly.
Russia.com.
It's .com. They got 1,500 applications per month of the people who want to come. Not all of them will make a decision, for sure. I know some of them just, show general interest, but it's a lot. It means that people are really interested. And here in the place you see now, it's a very nice restaurant. This is a restaurant in Moscow. It's a rooftop. And here we're going to have every month, and we already do have certain meetings of the foreigners who came in. So we help them to adapt, to adjust to the language, and to meet each other. And I think it's a big deal. I wish I would have something like this when I was living in the United States, because I felt so lonely, and that was very hard to kind of adjust to the society.
You bring up a good point, because I think the audience listening and watching, one of the things that goes through their minds and the questions that I get is they say, Tara, are you safe? And I'm like, I'm safer here. I'm worried about you guys. I'm safe, like in Russia.
Let me ask you, Tara, the simple question, just a simple question, okay?
Yeah.
Have you ever walked here during nighttime? Did you feel safe?
Absolutely. I walk almost every night because I live
Can
near
you imagine?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you imagine now to go during the night in New York to walk and just enjoy yourself.
No, you
In
can't do
Paris,
that.
in Germany,
No.
in
No,
Berlin, no.
for sure
You know
not.
why?
No, not
Because
even
you're
Italy.
gonna
Not
be
even
shot
Italy.
or killed, or you
Yep.
will be raped if you're a woman, or even
Yep.
you are not a woman, you will still be raped. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, everybody who is watching this now from the States or from Europe knows this is true. So I had this great woman who just moved in. She's from Germany. Her name is Ivona Adler.
Uh-huh.
I had an interview with her. She's the first one who got this special presidential decree spiritual asylum visa. I will talk about this later. And
Okay.
when she came in, she felt so safe here, and she also would tell me a story like they were trying to check her kids, and she cannot feel safe because she lives in a small town, about 20,000 people, and at her school, imagine that, at the school where kids would go, they only had 3 Germans. The rest are Arabs. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, nothing against Arabs, okay?
No.
But the question is, it's Germany and it's a little
Yeah.
town. So they
Yeah.
completely lost their national spirit. They lost their population so badly that all the 3 spots are now for immigrants. Immigrants get paid, immigrants get everything. And what about the German philosophy, schooling, kids, traditional family? It looks like America, isn't it? It's all gone. It does not exist anymore. Because guess what? The elections are coming in the US, and they're
Yeah.
trying to bring as many immigrants they can so they can vote. They can vote for Democrats. That's what they want. They just kidnap the elections. That's it. But this is a bad game, guys. This is a very bad game. You're gonna lose your country. And that's what's going on with the States right now.
So one of the things that people ask me too, besides, the safety issue, which by the way, I've talked about it often, and I even had it in my book, that I feel very safe here. And I'll tell you a quick funny story that you can respond to. I'm trying to be careful not to impose my American values on Russia. In other words, I'm trying to assimilate into Russia and become, assimilate and be a good citizen and just be whatever. But there's some fundamental differences sometimes, or misunderstandings when you don't know the language yet. And I had a thing where I left my purse in the taxi. And I happened to be going to an organization where I had to have all my paperwork. So all my paperwork was in my purse. And I accidentally left it in the taxi. The taxi left. I had the phone app, because here you don't hail a taxi, you use a phone app in Yandex. And I panicked. And then this really nice Russian woman saw I was upset, helped me. And I was like, and then talked to the driver. The driver didn't speak Russian or English. He spoke Pakistani. So we were, trying to communicate with him that my purse was there. He wouldn't come back. And then I was like, being an American, I was like, well, we should call the police, right? And she's like, no, you just have to go to him. He'll wait for you, but you just go to him. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so anyway, she accompanied me in the taxi to go get my purse and brought me back. And it just shows you how wonderful Russian people are. Like, she took time out of her day. She was busy doing other things and just helped me for like an hour.
Talking about the differences and the adjusting, Tara, when I met you the first time, I thought you were an exception. I thought, would it be great if Americans come here to Russia and they have their own community? Like, okay, they have an American village, or they have an American, area where they live. You guys don't want that. You're just like Russians. Like, Russians don't want that too. I remember in the States, nobody wanted to live in the separate Russia area. Some Germans do want to do it here, but very few. I communicate with Canadians, Italians, French, everybody from all over the world. And you guys hate to live in your own community. You all want to socialize with Russians, and it's so much fun for you. So you are not an exception. Like, that's what everybody is doing. Though there are certain it's not difficulties, but the misunderstanding part. Do you know what question I am asked frequently? Very interesting. So my Russian friends, so they communicate with Americans, they always ask me, are they sincere when they smile? And I'm like, guys, well, it's neither nor. meaning
Yeah.
they smile because it's polite.
Yes.
It doesn't mean they like you or dislike you. That doesn't mean they try to fake the smile. No, it's just polite. The same with the question, what's up? Or how are you?
Yeah.
Well, they do not expect a story from you. This is just a polite way to check out, to check what's going on. That's it. And the answer fine is not rude. It's enough. Because it's like, hello. On the other hand, when I talk to the foreigners, you guys frequently ask me a question like, what shall we bring to the house so we are kind of, if we're invited, so we don't offend the guest? And I always say, the host, and I always say, look, you bring something very little, because for a Russian, it's more a sign of attention. It's like you care. We don't expect even more. We don't just expect expensive gifts. We're gonna feel uncomfortable if you bring something expensive because nobody knows how to react. So something little is fine, and don't forget to take off your shoes. If you don't want to offend the person who is hosting you, that's the only thing you should do, and just be yourself. Americans and Russians are very much alike, so it's going to be okay. Talking about adjusting, kids are wonderful. Kids do it quickly, very fast. If you get a kid over like up to the high school, all easy. High school takes efforts to study Russian. For the kids, it goes easy, and they adjust to the to the kindergarten or homeschooling. By the way, many people move to Russia because we are absolutely fine if you homeschool your kid. We are fine.
Oh.
You just, the process works this
really?
way. You just go
Homeschooling
to
is
a
allowed in
close school. Yeah. You just go to a school close by, and you just, you appeal, you say that you will be assigned to the school, you homeschool your kid, and they will give you a little chart where your kid can come and just pass certain very easy tests. So we are sure that you actually give certain education to your child. So just, to make sure that's it. You don't need to fill a lot of papers and do stuff. And also I have this wonderful group here of people who are very devoted Catholics, traditional Catholics, and they have their little own church here. Now I'm working to establish a real one. The actual building for the church. And very few people know, but Russia is a multi-religious country, meaning it's not just Orthodox. We have a lot of Catholics and Muslims and Buddhists and Protestants and whatever you are. So you should practice your faith. Okay, you should, because you should grow your kids in the Christian faith if you are a Christian. I think this is a good thing to do. And in Russia, I just counted today, we have about 8 cathedrals, Catholic cathedrals, where you can go. And I think it's a great deal. So in terms of adjusting, people do just fine.
Yeah, and I wanted to put something else out there too that I saw that you mentioned about farming on your X profile. You're talking about some of the people coming that have farming skills. And I grew up on a farm when I was a little girl as well. Now I haven't farmed in a while, but I love to garden. But one of the things that I love about moving to Russia is how much healthier I feel. When I had to go to the US to my daughter's wedding, and I came back, and I'm safe here, it's wonderful. But I immediately started to feel sick in the United States and to gain weight. And then I come back and I start losing weight, and I'm eating the same things. I like a lot of veggies and salads and whatnot, but the food here is so much healthier.
The quality, because we don't put hormones and pesticides and all this crap. Okay, guys, the deep secret, only for Tararit, only online, right here, just for you. So we simply don't put there any chemicals. We don't have them. God bless. We don't have them. Okay, and it's wonderful. We don't have all these preserved point something, 220 and all these crazy parts. You just go to the grocery store and it's all organic, and you don't need to pay extra. This is what pissed me off in the States. When you go to a grocery store, so for all the people who are poor, don't have enough money they go one side, and for the riches, you go to the organic section because everything is twice or three times more expensive. So you want the people who don't have this upcoming whatever high income just to die, and then you go and you see all these McDonald's crazy parts, and like I'm not a fan of Trump, neither am a fan of Harris, neither am a fan of any president recently, because none of them is a Christian, none of them, okay? Neither Harris nor Trump. But anyway, promoting McDonald's, when I see a kid of 10 years old in the States and he's diabetic, are you kidding me? The kids cannot be this way, which means that somebody, and this is somebody, is the government, because the parents have no choice, and they have to feed their kids, and they have to feed themselves with their, how you call it, it's not just garbage, but junky, with a junky food. It's a junk food, okay? That's not okay.
So French fries,
everywhere. People forgot in the States how to drink water, because when you come to the airport, Coke is cheaper than water. What's that?
No.
What are you? I mean, what your government is trying to achieve so people die? Because people die.
Well, and let's look at that, Maria. I mean, what are the two biggest money makers for the United States of America? It's the health industry for people being sick, prescriptions, and war.
So it's simply profitable to get. I just don't want people to be sick, okay? I don't want people to suffer.
Exactly,
okay?
but this is where there's no heart and soul in our government.
Okay, you guys go ahead. You go ahead and look at Tara's example. You go in on my ex or this moving in Russia.com, and you guys just, check out Russia, because we're gonna be a Salvation Ark. I'm no joke here, okay? Because they are poisoning their population. They're killing their population. They don't care about you. And I had a hashtag on my ex even, we do care, because I meet almost everybody now. In a group, individually, I solve everybody's problem day and night on my personal Telegram account. Why I do so? Because I do care of you. I do care of you. Me personally. I'm not gonna, Tara knows that. I'm not gonna tell you, okay, then you go and fill this paper and that paper, and no. Every time when somebody feels bad or you have issues, bureaucracy is very hard. I would recommend to have an immigration lawyer anywhere you go, Europe, United States, or Russia. It's always good, and it's cheap here. You just have it, he fills for you papers, that's good. I'm happy to recommend you 3 different guys who are actually, I know they're doing their job well. Okay, fine. But you guys take your kids, you just come, because they're gonna kill your kids. You see what they do all over the world. And I can explain you why. Just easily in one phrase. Because America turned away from God. Okay? The country used to be and should be as an example for everyone. For the like America in the 70s and America of the 90s, America of the 80s. This is the movies I watched, all right? This is why Sleepless in Seattle. This is why I came to the States, because I saw there is a little house and the church on Sundays. What did I get? The LGBT flags on churches. And when I would ask a pastor a question like, oh, but that's in the Bible, it's not allowed. And she, okay, just say that, oh, don't judge. It's like, you cannot interpret the Bible like that. You can't just take one phrase and interpret it. So I do nothing. No, I don't want my kids to be involved in gay movement, okay? If that's fine, I am fine with that. But in the US, if you're against it, they're gonna take your kids, like they do today in Germany. This little woman, wonderful little woman, Ivona Adele, she came because her kid is asthmatic, okay? She couldn't give her child a permission to wear a mask during COVID because the child would just die. No, she could not wear the mask, and she took her kid on homeschool. And guess what? The social service shows up on the front door, knocks the front door and says, "Look, That's you're gonna take the kids to school, or we're gonna take your kids. She says, no, it's my kids, my two little ladies, two little girls. And they say, no, it's not your kids, they're German citizens. And she says, like, so what? They're my kids. I mean, I gave them birth, I know. And they say, no, it's not your kids anymore, it's Germany's kids. Oh,
Wow.
here you go, fascism right there. And she grabbed her kid, and she started to think about it. She had to go to the government to take a permission to take her own kids to Switzerland. Well, and she was smart enough. She didn't go to Switzerland. She flew to Georgia and then flew to India. And then she flew to Georgia and to India, back and forth for 4 years until this special presidential decree was passed, which is on spiritual asylum, which allows her now to anyone who is against this LGBT crazy stuff and who is a devoted believer in God, just go to the Russian consulate and embassy, fill out the simple form, and you go to Russia and you live in Russia and you bring your family. That's what she did. But 4 years, her kids didn't go to school. She was fearful. Is that Europe? Is it the world we want to see? No, that's not my world. I want to live in a safe and free community.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And could you talk, because I know, our audience may not know, but you're in the State Duma in Russia. So you're like a senator, equal to like a US senator,
Well, like a congressman more.
You're very,
Like
you're very, okay, like a congresswoman, but you're very active with legislation. So could you talk about this legislation and what it means for people that are, pique their interest? What is their next steps if they are interested?
All right. Okay, attention guys, here's how it works. In the Duma, I'm like a congresswoman, so I am a lawmaker. And I am responsible to make the program of Move in Russia to work. Our president 2 months ago passed a decree on spiritual asylum. Okay, this decree means that anyone who shares conservative values, you don't need to sign any papers, you love Russia or something to give up your citizenship. No, if you hear somebody say that this is not true, go ahead and check our websites of any embassy. So if you're a conservative, if you believe in God, if you are from the Western countries, we have a list published. It's 39 countries, and America and Canada, or almost all Western European countries are in the list, because these are all the countries that are now kidnapped and hijacked by gay lobby. So you just go and you file an application. You can file an application if you're a father or a mom of many kids, just for one person, and you put on the list all your family members. When you come to Russia, I would strongly recommend first to come and visit and to see where would you like to live, or just, check out, my account and DM me, and I'm happy to tell you where you can find a job, depending on what you would like to do. If you want land, it's one place. If you want a town and busy and be all in the, in a life in the middle of big city, it's fine too. In Russia, we have 8 hours, different hour zones. You will choose whatever you want. Warm, Sochi. Tara knows all about Sochi. If you want the coast, you go to Primorye, which is closer to China. If you want a megapolis, Moscow. If you want a smaller city but still dynamic, Yekaterinburg or Nizhny Novgorod, they have great programs. Meaning they're going to help you with the employment. They're going to help you with housing. They're going to give you land. Because why do Russia do so? No, we're not trying to kidnap you. No, we just have few people, okay? And we want good people, conservatives, sharing our beliefs. You are not needed in the States. You are not welcomed to live in Western Europe now. They want to get rid of you and your family, and you know it. You know it, because they welcome immigrants. They don't give you good salary. You lose your job. You pay 3 times more now because of the inflation rate for everything you do. They are just, you call it stroking when, put somebody's, you stroke somebody. Yeah. That's what they do. So, and then you just do this visa, and then you come to Russia, and you get your VNG status, which means it's a residency. And you keep your citizenship. Nobody tells you to give up anything. You don't need to pass any Russian language tests. You don't have any quotas. Nobody's gonna limit you by numbers of people. No, you conservative, you go. Once you get your residency here, you're good to go. That's it. That's it. Any issues, you just, my DM.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And for the
That's it.
audience, you can find Maria's DM if you look beneath the podcast.
Well,
we'll have links.
we're in the country,
and
so I
links
need
her-
to put something in my fireplace because it's almost
Okay.
dead. Okay. Anyway, sorry guys. This is
No, don't worry.
stuff for fireplace. Okay,
Oh,
fireplace.
there you go. That's
Here you
awesome.
go. Well, sorry, it's life because this
No,
is
it's
a
fine, it's
fantastic
fine.
little house. So, and if I don't do that, guys, you know what it means? It's gonna smell badly because it's gonna be a lot of smoke. But we're gonna solve the problem. Here you go. That's it. I'm all yours. This is as
That's
live
cool.
as you can get. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you guys want, you check out my little account and see we have meetings of the foreigners and I will answer to all your questions and would love to meet you. If you're already in Moscow, please, or any other, area of Russia, please contact me. We need to know where you are so we can help you. We maybe send gifts for Christmas for your kids. Just please contact me. That's it. Let's unite.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And it's a wonderful networking opportunity. Also, there's lots of ways, if you are interested in learning the Russian language, to learn it, which I'm starting to do. But I want to reassure our audience that it's not required in Russia
No.
to know the language right away. I don't know it. I speak like a toddler still. I mean, I can do basic sentences, but nothing, grand yet. I'm learning. But it will take time because, sometimes
Can
it
I
does.
ask you a question, Tara? Well, it's not a prepared question.
Yeah.
Can you survive in Russia without Russian language now?
You can. There are plenty of people, and what I really want to say is, if you more than survive, you can just live normally. Everything you can do
I
in the
have
United
foreigners
States.
who don't speak a word in Russian. I mean, and they okay.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
I
I
strongly
mean-
recommend you to learn Russian because it makes your life more enjoyable in any country.
Mm-hmm.
When you see, I speak English. When I came to the States, it just makes you more communicative with other people. But if you're struggling with that, many people do. It's okay. Nothing is bad. I mean, even
No.
over time, you're gonna pick up some words that you need. I have a friend who never studied. She's completely fine when she comes to a restaurant. She always knows how to order something. She's here for 9 years. She's from New Zealand and she's just fine. This is our mutual friend with Tara, and her daughter just applied and got into university, in fact. So she's all studying and she's just fine. People live here and feel
That's
people
wonderful.
live fine. Look, you know that your government lies. You know your government lies. So, and now think, they lie so much. And now think, everything you know about Russia, if they lie all the time, that means they lie to you about Russia as well. Okay, that they tell all this stuff on elections and all this. You know how much they lie, and they hide it.
Speaking of the election, where this is going to air probably before the election or right around it. One of the things that my daughter's telling me, there's a lot of tension with just normal working people that aren't involved with politics. Like, I'm pretty keyed in. I'm a geopolitical analyst. You are involved with politics in your country, so you pay attention to what's happening in the world. But like your day-to-day person that doesn't have that background, they're just trying to survive, feed their family. They may not really be reading or watching. But what my daughter's telling me is that right now in America, people are very scared and there's a lot of polarization, and it's like nothing we've seen before. She was telling me some conversations that are happening and arguments people are getting into at a store or at a restaurant about Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. And you made a point earlier that you don't see the difference. I agree with you because I feel like both of them are keyed into the military industrial complex. and the intelligence community of the US. So I think that they reflect that. But I want to know from your opinion, if Donald Trump does win and he promises that the aggression that US has towards Russia will end, do you believe him? Because he did impose the sanctions on Russia. So some of them, Biden did a lot more, but what is your opinion about that? Like, do you see a shift or a change if he wins?
Well, listen, let me put it differently, okay? You know that Russians and Americans are people who have global thinking, okay? And let me think about this globally. The thing that I do care of is none of the candidates is a Christian. I mentioned that, which means that if you're not a Christian and if you don't believe in God, it means everything is okay. It means that killing your kids is okay, because you're not going to be judged. There is no God. And when the person's heart is corrupt by evil forces, that's become a problem. This is a problem, okay? So believe it or not, it does not matter what's going to happen toward Russia. What I do care is what's going to happen with the people and the people in the States, because neither outcome is bad. Because look, okay, let's say, oh, God bless, if Kamala Harris wins, what does that mean? Well, it means that people who support Donald Trump are going to go on the streets. Yes, to crush the streets because they disagree with the results, okay? And then, God bless, Donald Trump wins. And guess what? The whole BLM movement that has been paid and fed by the Democrats and the immigrants crowds are going to flood the cities. So they're going to crush everything. So whatever outcome we're going to see, it's bad for the people. Okay, let's think about the global politics here, okay? But let's don't. Let's think about a person's life, okay? A life of a single family who is now not guilty in all this crazy stuff, but will be involved in all these dirty games. An average family in the Midwest does not care about who's going to win the elections and what's going to happen with Ukraine and Russia. What they do care of is what their kids are going to eat tomorrow, how they're going to fill the gas in their car. And they have a problem now with that, don't they? They do. In terms of Russia and Ukraine, what I do wish to happen is somebody, I don't believe that somebody is going to be smart or anything, because in terms of ending wars, and don't forget, there is another war going on. It's Palestine and Israel. Oh, we have a lot of smoke here. Wait a minute, let me open the door. Because my fireplace.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Okay. It's going to be nice in here. So what's going to happen if tomorrow we have the different outcome? So whoever is there to end the war, you have to admit the fact that you should stop earning money on wars and killing people. In order to do so, you have to be a Christian, but none of the candidates is a Christian. So what are we going to do? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, I see, and I have here a light to the, to the heaven. Come to Russia. That's my point. But no, it's actually a door, so I can take the smoke out. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask you one more thing before I know you have to go. And it's a story that I saw on your X account about a family with 6 children, I believe, that have just recently emigrated to Russia, and they were called. Yes, they were called extreme Catholics. And on my show, I had Kyle Seraphin and Steve Friend, who were former FBI whistleblowers, and they left the FBI because the FBI was targeting Catholics. They call them extreme Catholics. I come from a Catholic background, so the story interests me. Yeah. So they exposed the FBI doing this targeting, and there was a congressional hearing talking about how they were targeting Catholics as extreme Catholics. Could you tell a little bit about them? And I was just shocked to see this poor family.
It's a great family. It's a great family. In fact, there are several families now who have their church, traditional Catholic church, registered, officially operating here. These guys go on their services and they practice Catholic faith, period. It does exist. I want to improve the conditions they do it in. They deserve it. And I'm working this personally right now. So it's a family. I know two families. One is a French family with 10 kids, and one is an American family, Joseph Schutzman. He has 7 kids by now. And and guess what? They escaped the States because they're traditional Catholic. Because guess what? They are against LGBT propaganda in the church. And they now here, safe and fine. They have a big house, and I recently visited them. And when they told me this shocking, heartbreaking story that they are extremists, they are domestic terrorists, I was playing with 3 little girls, 5, 6, and 10 years old. I was reading them a fairy tale. It was very funny. It was a Russian book, so I was trying to translate it from the actual page into English because they just starting their Russian practicing, and you go ahead and check the family's pictures. They're not extremists, okay? They're just Catholics because they could kidnap the land, the Saint American land, the country of the Spirit, of the Holy Spirit that I went to in 2015 is gone. And you know what's said in the Bible. You don't turn around, okay? You take your family, you save your family, and you leave Sodom and Gomorrah behind, and you never turn. Like, you shall not. That's what, Tara, you did, and you did it smartly. And my dream is that all your relatives and friends are gonna come to Russia, and I want you all to be together and love each other here, because that's the right thing to do. I cannot even imagine, I couldn't imagine that I will be the head of the movement, of this Move in Russia thing, but God does nothing in vain. Look at that. I was an innocent girl who came to the States believing in the Holy Spirit of the United States. I came, and they jailed me. They tortured me. And look what God does, how smartly God does things. So he gave me a public tribune, so I can speak against it, become a really devoted Christian, to bring the Christians from all over the world, especially from the West, to Russia, because his thoughts are not our thoughts, and his actions are not our actions, guys, because God is great. Blessed be to God. That's my point, okay? And
Amen.
They just evil. I mean, whoever wins, it doesn't matter. They're gonna crush the world. The only thing that I worry of for you guys is that I really wish that you bring your family here, and you save your family, you save your souls, you save your kids, and you find a welcoming place, and you will, because I will be with you. You know, my favorite quote from the Bible is from Isaiah 32:2, where it said that when you go through the deep waters, I'll be with you. So let God be with us. Let God be with you and your family. And you need to find a safe haven, like Tara did. Tara did a great thing. She's, I mean, sorry for talking of you in a third,
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
But listen, you are the first who actually was brave enough to say, I'm going to go to this unknown Russia. And you don't just go by yourself and live in, because you have a fine life, but you tell to the world, look how I am. You guys come to Russia. You take these pink glasses and you break them, because they stuffed your mind and the mind of your kids with propaganda. Russia is not bad. Russia has never been bad. Yeah, we had the communistic times during the Soviet era, but we have a revival today, a rebirth of Christianity. Starting 30 years ago, you come and see. It's different now. It's just so much hurts me when I see all these bloggers on Twitter and on X who say, oh no, nobody can target traditional Catholic. Google it. Just Google it, what they did. And now Google how Joseph Schutzman family lives here in Russia. They tell by themselves. They have a blog. You can see by your own eyes. Come and see them here. They welcome everyone. Why not? We need ambassadors. I mean, Tara, you're an ambassador. That's awesome.
I love Russia so much. And I have to tell you, and you know this, there was a time when I went through homesickness, and all I can say to people who are listening is you will have a little homesickness, even when things are bad in America. It's still
Anywhere.
like that connection where you're from. But if you push through it for a few weeks, you get over it. And the Russian people are very, very welcoming and go out of their way. So many different people have come into my life and just really wanted to help and just be present and just be a friend. And that's why my Russian friends have now grown. I've gotten more and more Russian friends, and I feel like I have a community around me, and I feel like I'm part of the community, and I also try to give back too. And I think that's important. So when you come to a new country, you don't just like take everything, you give. So thank you, Masha, because
Love you.
went through what you went through and survived and came back and reached back and then helped other people. And frankly, you saved my life. I was very much in danger, and now I'm safe. So forever grateful to you and all your time that you gave me. I know you're at an event and I want to let you go so you can go do that. But I wanted to leave the last word with you. So if there's anything else you'd like to say, please say, tell our listeners, and we'll see you next time. I have you on my show often, so.
Okay, so my final words: save your kids, save your family. If you're a devoted Christian, if you're a conservative, move in Russia. That's it. Be my guest and be the host sometimes for our parties.
Спасибо большое.
Пожалуйста.